Joe is a person whose bed career is filled with successes. However, as he ages, this virtue comes to a halt due to incredible headaches. When his health and love life become unbearable, he realizes he needs medical help. After visiting many doctors, he finally finds a specialist who can solve his problem. The doctor says, "I have one good news and one bad news for you. Let's hear the good news first, doctor. I can relieve you from your headache. And what's the bad news, doctor? It's a very rare condition. It's difficult to say, but you need to be castrated. Your sexual organ is putting pressure on the lower part of your spine, and this pressure is causing you unbearable headaches. The only way to get rid of this pressure is to remove your male organ." Shocked by this news, Joe feels very demoralized. He asks himself, "What should I do? How can I live if my male organ is removed? Who would I live for? How can I face people?" Without thinking too much and realizing he has no other choice, he decides to undergo surgery. When he is discharged from the hospital, he takes a deep breath and says, "Oh, there is a world out there. I'm free from that cursed pain." But he feels something important is missing. Walking down the street, he senses he is a different person. He decides to make a new start and begins a new life. As he passes by a men's clothing store, a suit in the window catches his eye. "That's exactly the suit I was looking for." He enters the store. He tells the clerk, "I want a new suit." The clerk sizes Joe up and says, "Let's see, size 44. Joe laughs. "Absolutely right, how did you know?" "It's my job." Joe tries on the suit and it fits perfectly. As he admires himself in the mirror, the clerk asks, "Would you like a new shirt as well?" After thinking for a few seconds, Joe says, "Certainly." The clerk looks at Joe and says, "Sleeve length 34 and neck size 16.5. Joe is surprised. "Absolutely right, how did you know?" "It's my job." Joe puts on the shirt and yes, it's superb. As he adjusts the collar in the mirror, the clerk asks, "How about new shoes?" "Yes, please, let me see your shoes." The clerk looks at Joe's feet and says, "Yes." 10. Joe is increasingly astonished. "I can't believe you knew my shoe size at a glance. Bravo." The clerk says, "Sir, it's my job." Joe tries on the shoes and they fit perfectly. As he takes a walk around the store, the clerk says, "Sir, you look sharp. Let me give you a hat as well." Looking in the mirror, Joe thinks to himself, "Hey, I really pulled this look together," and says to the clerk, "Yes, let me see a hat for myself." The clerk looks at Joe's head and says, "Yes, 7.5. Joe, completely astounded, asks, "Yes, right. How did you know?" The clerk, now quite pleased with, says, "It's my job, sir." The hat fits perfectly on his head. "Wow, look at me. I am something," Joe thinks to himself as the clerk asks again, "How about we get you some underwear, sir?" Joe thinks for a few seconds and says, "All right, bring me your most stylish underwear." The clerk steps back and says, "Yes, size 36. Joe laughs. "For the first time, you're wrong. I've been wearing size 34 since I was 18. The clerk shakes his head and says, "No, a size 34 won't do for you. It would compress your sexual organ and put pressure on your spine, causing you unbearable headaches.